Head over to BoardGamePrices.com to find the best price on Kanagawa Yokai and thousands of other games. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. It's time to pick up that paintbrush again and start painting some beautiful things on the easel. But this time, we're going to be talking about Yokai. This is Kanagawa Yokai. This is an expansion for a game that I love called Kanagawa. Let me show you what's in it, how it plays, and I'll see you on the other side. Now, if you remember in the base game, there's 4 types of cards. We have buildings, characters, trees, and animals. Now, from these 4, and when you're playing with the expansion, you're going to select any 2 of these, and you're going to take the diploma tiles and the cards from that section. So let's say we want to play with trees and animals. You'd remove all these back into the box. You'd set all these off to the side for now. Then from the expansion, we have 3 new types of cards. We have umbrellas, lanterns, and kites, and each of those has their own type of diploma tiles that you'll be using with them as well. Now you pick 2 from the base game, you'll also pick 2 here, so you're still playing with 4 types of cards. So from these 3, you'd pick 2. Let's just say we pick umbrellas and kites, for example. We would remove the lanterns back to the box, and we would get ready to set up. Now the game is played as normal, but let's talk about how these cards work now. These diplomas for the umbrellas, you need 2, 3, or 4 umbrellas on consecutive cards. So this would be 3 umbrellas. I could take this one now, or not like normal, but they have to be in consecutive cards. That's the little line there. Now some cards, when you take them, whether you paint them or not, you'll have to take one of these yokais. And there's actually 3 of these little figures in the game, and you'll take one and put it in front of you. Now there is a diploma tile that will be out there for this expansion. If you get all 3 of these, you'll take this diploma tile. However, if you have these at the end of the game, you're going to get minus points. -1 for 1, -4 for 2, and -9 for 3. So you're trying to possibly get these, get the reward, and then get rid of these for the end of the game. Now, if you take this diploma, this allows you to get rid of one of them and give it to somebody else. Also, some of the cards that you get will allow you to get rid of these, or force you to get rid of those as well. And this whole yokai thing, I mean, it's the name of the expansion. It is the single new sort of mechanism in the game, but it works pretty well. Now with the kites, you can get cards that have 1, 2, or even 3 of these kites on there. There's different colors. There's yellow, red, and blue. And the diplomas work like if you have 3 yellows, 3 blues, 2 reds, or 7 of any of the colors. And that's sort of how these work. And some of these cards also force you to take a yokai. Some of the diplomas let you get rid of a yokai. And some of the cards in this kite deck allow you to do that as well. Now for the lanterns, you'll see there's cards with 1, 2, and 3 lanterns, and the diplomas are 3 single lanterns, 2 double lanterns, or a single, double, triple like we have here. You could get this one now. And some of the cards have the yokai token, which again, you have to take one of these. And if there's none left in the supply, you'll need to take one from an opponent of your choice. So that's the expansion in a nutshell. You're getting 2 of the 3 new types of cards. You're always using this yokai with the new mechanism. One more thing I wanted to point out, that the expansion box, when put next to the base box, continues the painting that you see there. So it is a very beautiful thing. So people that like to have that, this really looks nice. Personally, I like to take all the sets from inside and put it in the base box. And in this case, everything did fit in there just fine. All right, Kanagawa Yokai, more beautiful artwork. I mean, this game, I love the way it looked before, and I love the way it looks now even more because there's more beautiful things to look at. So they just added to the, the glitz and glamour that this game really had going for it. I like that you're sort of mixing and matching new cards with the old ones to keep things fresh. You're picking, 2 from the beginning set and, 2 of the 3 from the expansion, and you're just kind of mixing and matching them so that every game can be different. You can have different, each game you pick which ones you want to play with that game. I think that's cool. I like the sort of yokai mechanism where you're trying to get all 3 of those to get that diploma for 4 points, but then you're trying to shed them and get rid of them so you don't get the minus points at the end. I think that's cool. It also makes you think, if you've already got one of them and you're going to take a card and you're like, oh, if I take that, it's towards the end of the game, I'll make it stuck with -4. Is this card worth it? Is it going to offset that? Maybe I don't want that. But sometimes you'll be getting cards that are face down that will have that on that too. So you got to keep in mind that a lot of the expansion cards do have that. If they're face down, it gives you another thing to think about. I like that this adds replayability without changing the elegance of the base game. Sometimes an expansion will come in and they'll just add a bunch of stuff, and a lot of times it just makes either bogs the game down or makes it bloated. I like that in this case. I tend to like expansions where you can mix things in and just mix it in with the base game and just go or just play, and there's not a whole lot more rules, and this does that because so I like that aspect of this specific expansion. I do have expansions as a whole, and as I showed, the expansion box has that sort of, it matches the game box for those that like to put them up on the shelves back to back. That's a cool thing. On the negative side, it does take longer to set up because you essentially have to separate out all of the cards, the 4 base sets and the 3 new ones. So 7 sets of cards of piles you're setting up, separating out to figure out which 4 you want to play with. So setup does take longer than before, and I wouldn't necessarily play this expansion with new players if they've never played before. Even though this is one of those expansions that I just said, you just mix in the things. Those are the ones I like, but even with that being said, new players can miss or forget that yokai icon, especially on the face down card. So they're taking these cards, they're taking them face down, and if you're not watching what they're doing, they could be putting it in and missing that they're supposed to get one of those, which could be a pretty big deal, especially towards the end of the game. Sometimes they're hard to see or you just kind of forget about them. So I wouldn't play this with brand new players I haven't played before. And that's a little bit of a negative, but most expansions, again, I don't, but it just be warned that we did have a few times that people had forgotten to take that because it is a new thing. So that's what I think about Kanagawa Yokai. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games by helping you find the next one you'll love. This video was shot on a Game Topper, the ultimate gaming accessory. After successfully fulfilling their first Kickstarter, Game Toppers are taking the world by storm. Now you can get your own portable gaming top by participating in Game Topper's Kickstarter 2.0 starting June 25th, 2019. New styles, new sizes, and amazing new game mats. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to enter a full Game Topper system valued over $1,000 to also bring you to the Kickstarter project page and to late pledge.